Okay, so last time we were in here. Okay, so we have identified two types of factors. Okay, so that is quantitative factors. Okay, so when we are trying to locate the business, when we're trying to make the decision where we should set up our business, there are two kinds of factors we have to always consider. Um, oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I forgot to show the slides. Yeah, okay, I did it. I did it. Don't worry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yes, right. We talk about those two factors, and once again, quantitative factors. When you think about this, it is those factors, they are directly related to your revenue and costs and possibly your profits. Okay, and the qualitative factors is they are just the opposite. Okay, something indirectly related to revenue and costs. Okay, yeah, and yeah. So last week we were up to here, right? So I asked you to identify, you know, the boxes here into different categories. Okay, so now let's go through each of them. So for labor costs, where did you put it? Did you put it in quantitative factors? Yes. But here's the question: why labor costs? They are also a factor we have to consider when we are locating our business. So I'm going to put this here. Yeah, you guys are correct. So why? You should think about this. Why? Some countries have higher minimum wage. Okay, that is correct. But right now we want to focus on domestic, okay, decision making. So forget about overseas decision making. So yeah. Uh, well, that could be, but not the direct answer. Not the direct answer. So why? So why that is one of the factors we have to consider when we are trying to you know yeah locate the business. But yeah, you guys are on the right track. You guys are on the right track. Okay. So labor costs. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So labor. So yeah. So right now, once again, when you are thinking about the factors, you have to think about it in a greater scale. Yeah, in a greater scale. In a greater scale. Okay. So let's say you need to think about it in China. So in China, all right, talk about domestic production, and when we are trying to make decision where we should set up, let's say a factory for iPhone, okay, for iPhone, right? So when you think about this, okay, you have to think about the labor costs in different cities, in different provinces, okay, because different provinces, different cities, they have different wage levels, yeah, skills and possibly wage levels. Yeah, that they are connected, and yes, and that's why when you take a look of the factories for Apple in China, you will never see the factories they are setting up in Shanghai, or yeah, in either inside the city. You will not see that. You will not see that. Okay, even when the factories, I think two of them are set up in Shenzhen. Okay, but the thing is, they are not going to set up the factory in the city park. Okay, they are going to set up the factory in some kind of more remote area in Shenzhen. Okay, because there, okay, the labor costs, they are lower. Okay, they are lower. Okay, the people there, I'm not gonna say the people there they're cheaper, but yeah, because of the skills and everything. Okay, and that's why. Okay, every time when we are trying to consider where we should set up our business, we have to consider this. Okay, Yeah. Yeah. That is also one of the factors. Okay. The labor, they can travel around the country and go to different places for the job. But here, try to think about it in a more simple way. Okay, in a more simple way. Okay, right. So yeah. Okay, so that's what you will get. Yeah, so that's what you get. Try and make it more simple. Right, different places. Right, if you're talking about a more metropolitan city, then yeah, possibly the labor cost should be higher. Okay, so you don't want to set up a factory over there because you need so much labor force. Okay, for a factory. So yeah. So that is one of the considerations. And so what about the cost of the site? What about this? Where did you put it? Left or right? Yep, left. Okay, quantitative. Right? Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it here. Right? So easy. So yeah, so this is quite obvious. Okay. When you try to locate your business, of course you are going to take a look of how much to buy that land or to rent that shop. Okay, so here, yeah, it's all about buying or renting. Okay, so yeah, that is very obvious. It's going to be directly related to your costs. Okay, so yes, right. What about this transport costs? Left or right? Yeah. So very obvious once again, right? Yes. Okay, but here, what are those? What are those transport costs? Can you identify some of the transport costs for me? Transport materials and goods. Oh, okay, that's good. That is yeah. So here I would say the answer from Sarah is more specific. So this is what we call specific. So Kenneth, so when you say shipping, okay, is not specific enough. So you have to tell us like from where to where. Okay, yeah, yeah. So that is specific. Okay, so when you talk about transport costs, you always have to think about two sides. Okay, yeah, you think about the supplier side. Okay, supplier side, and also your consumer side. Okay, so here let me type that for you. Uh, supplier, consumer. Okay, oh, put an S here. Right? Okay. So yeah. So sometimes when you are ordering raw material from your suppliers, they do charge you for the transportation cost. Okay. But in general, usually is the suppliers who will provide the service. Okay. For you, but sometimes you will see this. Okay, the suppliers they will charge the service, the transportation service. Okay, and also when you are sending the goods to consumers. Let's say when you are transferring the goods from the factory to your retail shop. So that is also a transport cost. Okay. So when you are trying to locate the business, of course, this is going to be one consideration that you have to make. Okay. Yeah. Is the location close to my customer? Is the location close to my suppliers? Okay. Because that will affect the cost, obviously. Right? So this is what we have to, consider as well. Okay? Yeah. So yeah, transport costs. Uh, okay. Okay. So what about the next one? The demand. Right. Left. Left. Okay. Yep. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It must be. It must be, Gordon. Yeah. It must be left. Right. Left. Okay. But what is this? What is this all about? Demand. What are they? What are they talking about? So what are we trying to consider in this box here? Demand of what is it trying to say? Can you explain it a little bit? Um, okay, yeah, your potential customer amount. Yeah, more people want your product then. Yeah. Okay. So Kenneth, Matthew, very good. Okay. So yes, that is exactly what they're trying to say. Yes, Chloe. Yes. So here, yeah. So this is one very important factor you have to consider every time. I think most of the businesses, they will consider this. Okay. So if you are opening the bubble tea shop, okay, of course you want to find a place where so many people they pass by. Okay. So you have a potential, you have a bigger potential market. Okay, so you're going to open it in Tsim Sha Tsui, right? In say Hao Fuk Gai, or yeah, right. Some very popular streets for food and drinks. Okay, so yeah, right. So that's the demand. That's the factor here. Okay, so that's good. But you see here but here's the thing. When you are opening a bubble tea shop, yeah, of course you want to find a place where you will have a bigger market potential. But when you are opening a factory, what are you going to consider in this factor? Are you going to use the same logic as the bubble tea? But here, well, we just want to talk about the demand of customers, yeah, or demand of yeah, the passenger population. How much revenue you can have? Um, oh, okay, okay, okay. But here, well, I want to focus on one thing. So you can see it has some implication. So when you are trying to find a place where they have a huge passenger flow, okay. So do you expect the rent is going to be higher or lower? When you high, it's going to be high. All right, so this is the point I was trying to make. Okay, so yeah, and that's why bubble tea, all right, they would rather go to a place where they will have a huge passenger flow. Okay, at the location. But when you think about factory, well, they don't really need that. Okay, because they are a factory. Okay, so if I still find a place for the factory that has a huge demand, a huge market potential, then I'm going to expect a really high rent for that place. Okay, and I don't want to do that because that is not going to be a benefit to me. I don't need that demand, right? Okay, so in this case, if you are the factory, then you are going to find a place, without so much demand because you don't need that demand. Okay, yeah. So it depends on what kind of business that you are in. Okay, so the factors, okay, the logic in the factors will be changed. Okay, yeah. So don't be bound by the factors themselves. Okay, yeah. It really depends on the kind of business that you do. Okay, so yeah. All right. So yeah. So let's go to the next one. The next one here, competition. So which one? Left or right? Competition. Right. Any other right? Okay. Can you explain why should we consider competition when we are looking for a location? So why? More choices for the customers. Uh, mm, well, okay, okay. But Jesse, that is more focusing on the consumer side. Okay. Mm, okay. Well, yeah, yeah. I think you all have some good ideas, but here in this case, when we are trying to consider a location for the business, sometimes competition could be a huge factor to consider, because we don't want too much competition in that location, right? Because if that's the case, then the market share will be like spread, okay, among so many competitors. Okay, so sometimes if that's happening, then our revenue might be lower because of that. Okay, our revenue might be lower because of that. Okay, so here for competition, yeah, it really depends on your interpretation. Okay, yeah, but we want to focus on the business perspective. All right, so for competition, I would actually say it is for quantitative factors, because you see the competition really directly affects your revenue. Okay, when you have a huge competition or when you have no competition, think about this. Okay, huge competition, no competition, yeah, that will actually affect your revenue. Well, there are so many other factors to consider, but here we only focus on the location decision itself. Okay, yeah, right. But at the end, when you really have to think about this, there will be so many other factors you will have to consider, like customer loyalties, your quality of services or goods, etc., etc. Right? Yeah, 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 yeah. No swearing. Yes. Okay, that is good. All right, Matthew. Yeah. So do not, no, don't use that. Yeah, don't use that term. All right. Okay. All right. So competition. Right. So that's why at the end, I would say quantitative or qualitative. It's, they are just facilitating your thinking. Okay. At the end, you are going to use the points here. All right. All the boxes here in your answers. Okay. Uh. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Well, maybe that is, well. That's fine. Okay, maybe. Yeah, maybe not swearing. Just, well. That's fine. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. All right. So yeah. Okay. Let's go to the next one. All right. So next one. So once again, they are not very important. Okay, they're just trying to facilitating your thinking. At the end, you are going to use those little boxes in your answers. Okay, so it doesn't really matter if they are in this side or the other side. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. So government incentives. Last time we talked about this, right? It's all about if there's any a welfare, or is there any subsidy from the government to help the businesses to locate in a specific area. So obviously, if the government can provide subsidies, okay, or other benefits to you, your cost will be lower. Okay, so I'm going to put it here. Okay, I'm going to put it here. All right. So what about the size of the site? Are you going to put it? Yep, 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 yep. In the right, right. That's good. Okay, in the right. But why should we consider this? Size of the site. If you are not thinking about it from the cost perspective, future expansion might happen. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's possible. Yeah. Uh, size of the operation, yes. Okay. So let's use a factory as an example. Okay. Yeah. So factory, they need a large, environment for the production, right? Okay. So if that's the case, then yeah, the size of the site, they have to consider that factor. Okay. But if you're talking about a bubble tea shop, compare to the factory, okay, they don't need that much space. Even when there is future expansion, well, compared to a factory, they don't really need a huge space, and that will affect where they will choose the location. Okay, so I would say this one here, this factor here, is kind of connected to the cost of site. Okay, but when we are trying to think about the size of the site, we use a qualitative perspective to see this. Okay, yeah, to see whether our business needs that much of the space. Okay, so yeah, but I would say they are connected. All right, because at the end it will also affect the cost of the site. Okay, yeah, so qualitative factors. Okay, what about legal restrictions? Legal restrictions. What? Why should we? Yeah, Chloe. So why should we consider this factor as well? The why. Any example like why should we consider this when we are locating the business? Any but you see here, if you are the business, you don't really care about pollution. Let's MF. Oh, you get okay. Oh, okay. Okay. But see here, pollution. You will get fined. But that will be more about when you are operating the business. But now you are finding a place for your business, right? You get it? Yeah. So here I think you have the wrong focus. So now you're finding a place, but you have to consider legal restrictions. Any ideas? Mm, well, but Jesse, that will also be focusing on the operation to the business. Oh, okay, Chloe. Yeah. So that is actually correct. Yeah. Well, think about this. Okay, you see here in so many countries, they have you know all kinds of planning for using different lands. Okay, so that particular land may be for residential usage only, and some other lands they may be used for other purposes. So when we are trying to consider where we should locate our business, we have to make sure that we are complying with you know the regulations and legislation. Okay, so yeah, so not you see here, not because we have money then we can, let's say, set up a business anywhere. Okay, there are so many legal restrictions behind. Okay, so this is one factor we have to be careful when we are setting up the business. Otherwise there will be some consequences. Okay, yeah, there will be some consequences, right? Okay, so yeah, legal restrictions, right? And last but not least, okay, so infrastructure. So where did you put it? Oh yeah, right, right here. Okay, infrastructure. Okay, yeah. So infrastructure. When you talk about infrastructure, what kind of infrastructure that you're trying to consider? Like accessibility, right? Connection. Yeah, it's transportation. Anything else? When you talk about communication network, yeah, that's good. Telecommunication, right? Whether you have a good internet connections, yeah, Wi-Fi, yeah, or optic fiber connections, you know, yeah. And also one more thing, utilities. Okay, utilities. Right. So when we talk about infrastructure, we also want to think about utilities like water, electricities, yeah, power. Okay, right? Because when you think about some cities or some provinces in a country, they might not have a good access to utilities. And at the end, if you are trying to make a factory, well, it's trouble for you because you need so much power, you need so much electricity for whatever kind of factory production. Okay, so yeah, so that is also one thing we have to consider. So infrastructure, right? Transportation, telecommunication, and utilities. Okay, so yeah, so that's all we have to consider for this one. Okay, the factors when we are considering business location locally. Okay, domestically. Okay, yeah, right. Mm, well, it depends on like how do you explain it? Why? Why tax is part of legal restriction? What kind of tax? Yeah. So if there is some sort of tax when you are um uh well I don't see there's any, well, maybe in some countries, or yeah. Um well, if that's the case, then wow, that will be in a very gray area. So it could be a quantitative factors, or yeah, it could be a qualitative factor. Well, I would say if tax is the problem, then it's more like a quantitative factor, because when there is really a tax, if you are going to different places for your businesses, there will be a different scale for taxes. Then yeah, it will be more like a quantitative factor. Okay, yeah. All right. So it really depends, but in general, when we talk about legal restrictions, we talk about the restrictions that you have when you are setting up in different geographic locations. Okay, yeah, just like what I just said. Okay, some places you just cannot build a factory there. Okay, because the land is for some other purposes. Okay, right? Yeah, but that's a good question. Right. Okay. Right. All right. So yeah. So that's all the factors that you have to learn. Okay. Yeah. Right. So in the exam, uh, they are your knowledge. Yeah. And when you explain it, like what we just did, then you will have your analysis. Okay. And don't forget to put application inside. Okay, your answer, right, which will give you the third mark as well. All right. Okay. So yes. All right. This is, yeah, I would say this is one of the most important part in this chapter. Okay. All the factors here. All right. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to the next part. So the next part here. Well, yeah, this is an exercise for you. Okay. So you have two cases. Okay, one and two. One is for a food production factory, and another one is your fashion boutique. Okay, so you are going to, first of all, you are going to identify the business sector, and where would you like to locate that business, and then you can go to this table here and finish everything. Right? You see the circle here? Well, you just have to copy and paste the circle, and then let's say put it here in your answer, and then you finish your reasons. Okay. But first of all, let us just go through. Okay, very quickly for the first part, and then I'll let you finish the table. Okay. So if you are trying to open a food production factory, you are trying to find a location. So what business sector is the food? Yeah, production factory. Okay, the second one. Okay, so that is good. All right, so now we got it. So it's in the secondary sector. So if you are trying to locate a food production factory, where would you locate that factory? Suburb, yeah, right. Because there are so many reasons, and those are the reasons that you have to finish in the table. So suburb, yeah, that is good. All right, let's put it here. Well, let's go to the next one here. Yeah. Talking about fashion boutique. What business sector is that? A fashion boutique. Okay, city. The third one. Okay, tertiary. Right. Very good. So yeah, just going to put it here, and I'm going to put circle on city. Right. Very good. So now, okay. So now we have identified the business sectors for both of the cases and also the location for both of the cases. Then now, can you please use 10 minutes to finish the two tables? Okay. Yeah, two tables. All right. So go back to Google Classroom and get that file. Okay, try to download it and finish it. Oh yeah. Please give me a signal if you have done the tasks. Oh, so it's talking about the market potential when you are setting up your business, let's say in the screen here, in the suburb. So if you are setting up the business in the suburb, what are you going to expect for market potential? Is it clear? Well, let's say demand, potential demand for you know your customers, just like here. Okay, when you are talking about the factors. So here, take a look at this demand bracket, market potential. This one here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, good. So I'll give you all 2 to 3 more minutes, and then we'll go through each of the box. So as we have so many boxes here, I guess I'm just gonna ask you guys in person, one by one. Hi, VN. VN. Are you here? Yeah. Have you finished the IB option form? Okay. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you very much. Well, I think it's better to send it first, and if you want to make any changes, yeah, you can redo the form later on. I believe. Yeah. You can always make adjustment along the way. Okay. Okay. So have you guys finished? Done? What about the others? Barely. Is one more minute? Yeah. I mean, you don't have to explain the boxes too much. Right? Just an idea will be uh, will be fine. So the factors are the most important thing, you know, things in this chapter. And for the explanation, which is your analysis, you just have to explain your way out. Okay. All right. So let's talk about it. Okay. So for the first one, the food production factory. Okay. Let's go from the first row to the last row. How about that? Yeah. Just imagine you're still sitting in the classroom. All right. So Rachel. Rachel, are you here? Hi. So for the first row here, okay, so what's the outcome from this? The cost of the site, if you are setting up the factory in a suburb area, is it going to be lower? Lower? Yeah, lower, right, lower. Okay, yeah, because you know, like why, Rachel? Hello. Okay, right. Yep, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. But you see here, okay, right. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So here reasons. So why should we, you know, set up the business in a suburb area in order to get a lower cost? Okay, lower cost, which will give you a higher profit. Okay, yeah, that is good. That is good. So yeah. So make sure that you put you put the points, okay, in the chat box, right in the slide. Okay, yeah. So yeah, so lower cost. Well, maybe I'll just do it. Yeah, lower cost, right? Which give you higher profits, right? Anything that is more qualitative. Why do you need a site with lower cost? Think about the factory, the nature of the factory. Chloe, any suggestion? Nope. Anyone? So yeah, it's just um. Oh, okay, okay. Yep. That. Yeah. Mm, yeah, but I would say they are also kind of related to quantitative factors. Okay. So here so the business can continue. So here I would say, so here we want to think about, think about it from the perspective of the factory. Okay. Um, so yeah, if you have better quality, then possibly you will get more profits. So at the end, it's more like a quantitative factor. But here, when you think about a factory, okay, we want a place which will have a lower rental cost, because we know that we need a big space, a huge space for the factory. Okay, because you know why? Yeah, because of all the production facilities and yeah, all the operation flows, and we need a bigger place. Okay, so here the second point I would say, because we need a huge space. Okay, so we want to try to minimize the cost of site. Okay, let's say the cost of rent, right? By setting up, in the suburb area, because we know we need a huge space. Okay, if we set it up in city, then it's no good, right? Because we know that we need a huge space, and yeah, if we set it up in city, the cost will be very high, right? Yeah, so that's the problem, right? So that's the first point here. Okay, what about the second? Okay, well, Matthew. Okay, bigger. Yeah, right. So because of that, then yeah, the size of the site, yeah, it should be bigger, right? Because now we're trying to aim for this. Okay, yeah, same reason. Okay, same reason, because we need the space for operations. Yeah, we need the space for machines, operations. Yeah, you could further develop your points. All right. Okay. See, right. Okay. In the factory. Wait. Operations. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. So let's go to okay. Well, because they're quite similar. Okay. You know, when you are trying to use the second point here, okay, for the first factor, then it is actually related to the second point. Okay, but when you are using the first one here, yeah, that will be a bit different. All right. Yeah. So yeah. So it really depends. But if you talk about the second one here, yeah, it is related to the second point. All right. So yeah, yeah. If you find that confusing, then you can just delete this one, okay, and put it here in the second row. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. Right. So the third one here. What do you think? Wait. Less. Okay, less. So yeah, accessibility to customers, of course, is going to be less. Okay. So why? Why do we accept we should have less accessibility to customers? No need. Yeah, there's no need. Yeah, it's not important because, right? Yeah, we need to provide. Yeah, yeah, all good. Okay, yeah, yep. If you have a better accessibility, there will be more 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 expensive, right? So yes, we don't. Yeah, there's no need. There's no need for that. Okay, right? Because you are going to send it to different distributors. Okay, yeah. So you don't really have a direct customer. Okay, yeah. So with that being said, then you can go to the fourth row. So yeah, just like what I said. Usually, okay, when you are a factory, you are not going to sell your goods to individuals. Okay, you are going to sell your goods to some other shops, some other distributors in batches. Okay, right? Yeah, yeah. Okay, because of the nature of the factory itself. Okay, yeah. So it's based on it really based on yeah based on the nature of the factory. Okay, right. Yep. And yeah. So when you go to the last one here, well, the last one here is a bit similar to the third one. Okay. So yeah. So you could say it's smaller, right, in terms of smaller in terms of market potential, and because they're so similar. Um, oh, why is that? Well, because now see here we are trying to focus on the location. So if you're in the suburb, okay, if you're in the suburb, right, your market potential, okay, your potential demand, okay, for the goods in the suburb, okay, should be less. But yeah. So here we just want to focus on the location. What will the location give you? Okay. Yeah. So that is some other external factors. Okay. Yeah. Whether the right. Whether your like the distributors, they would love to buy more or less, but that is some external factor. But now we want to focus on, you see, if you are locating your business in the suburb, what will happen to the market potential? Okay. Well, yeah, so like what I said, all right. So here we focus on the location, not the people, not the people. All right, because it is a location decision making. Okay, So you need to get your focus right. All right. Yeah. So here, market potential, I would say, well, market potential is less, but it's because they're so similar. Okay, the third one and the last one, they're so similar. So I would say I'm just gonna copy and paste this one to here. Okay, because even though the market potential is less, but we don't need that. Okay, because at the end we are going to distribute our goods to different distributors. Okay, so we don't really care about what is going to be about the market potential in the suburb, because we are not going to sell it in the suburb. We are going to sell it to different distributors around the places. Okay, yeah. So that's one. Okay. So now let's go very quickly to the next one. Okay, so to the next one very quickly. So can you tell me? Okay, so the first row, what will happen to the first row? Yeah, it will be higher. So the reason why you need you need to find a place with a higher cost. Why do you need that? Yeah, more customers. Yeah, more customers. More customers. More customers. And because we are selling fashion, okay, we are selling services, so we need that. We need to have more exposure, right? To get more exposure. Okay, right, right. And the revenue would make up for the So possibly higher sales and more profits. Okay. Yeah. So yes. Okay. So as long as you are able to explain it, just like what you did in the chat, you'll be just fine. Okay. So once again, it's just the factors. The factors are the most important things in this topic here. Okay. So and then you just have to explain it. Okay. Right. And what about the site? The site smaller. Why do we need a smaller site for a fashion boutique? Yeah, right. So yeah, they don't need so much space because they just have to showcase their clothes. Okay, and that's all. Right. They they only they yes, correct. They only need to they only need this will need enough space to showcase um, their their clothes. Okay. Yeah, and less labor. Yeah, of course. Yep, and also right, less labor. Less labor. Well, or I would say less factors needed. Okay, like labor, machine. Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's good. That's good. Okay. So that's the second one. All right. And very quickly, let's go to the third one. The third one here, accessibility. So it's going to be more, of course, right? Because now you are locating your business in the city. Okay. And well, the reason why you need, well, same as the first one. Okay, same as the first one, I would say. Yeah. Right. I would say same as the first one. Okay. The first. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, direct sale to individuals. Okay, so that's the fourth one. Okay, because that is a tertiary business sector. Is a is a tertiary sector. So yeah. So so we try to sell our goods. Okay, selling goods to final consumers. Right? Okay. And the last one, right? Market potential. it's very similar to the third row here. So I would say bigger market potential because you're now setting up your boutique in the metropolitan city, right? So it's going to be very similar to. So it's going to be same as the first one. Okay. Yeah. All right. So yeah. Okay. Right. Just like that. Okay. Just like that. All right. So yeah, yeah. So time is up, and I'm gonna stop it here. So on Friday, let's try to finish. Yeah, I think we can finish it. I think we can finish the chapter on Friday. So yeah, so that's all for today. And yeah, I'll say this is already your homework. Okay, well, but you have finished it. So yeah, so no homework for this week. Okay, so yeah, all right. So that's all, guys. So I'll see you guys on Friday. Okay, bye bye.